my project for the fall is reworking a syllabus for a class that I have taught before, but I wasn't 100% satisfied with it. So I knew that it needed some changing. I knew that I wanted to integrate more oral communication aspects to it, but I wasn't exactly sure how, what the right way of doing that would be, how I can make it more fluid and seamless. And so the class is on Greek and Roman tragedy. And so in the past, when I've taught this, we've just read a lot of plays. I think we read something like 21 plays the first time I taught it, which is a lot, and which to me felt like the way in which the class should be taught. A class on Greek and Roman tragedy, we should just read a lot of tragic plays. But after about 8 or 10, the students started to get really burned out on them. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about the reasons why we offer a class like this. We don't offer a class like this to just read as many plays as possible. We offer a class like this to get at a better understanding of tragedy in the ancient world, a better understanding of how ancient tragic performance happened, what the social context of it was, the archaeological context, the political context. And so now when I'm teaching this, I've cut the number of plays that we're reading almost in half. We're only going to read about 10 or 12 this coming semester. And in place of those classes where we had read all of these other ones, we're doing more classes on the socio-political context. And then I've also added in this performance aspect, which is what I've been working on this past semester. Because a big part of what I try and teach students with this class is that when we read these tragic plays, we sit in our room by ourselves or in the library and we read them in silence. And that's not how they were actually digested and approached in antiquity. And so by adding in this performance aspect, I'm hopefully giving them a better idea of the original context for these plays. And so rather than just lecture on this stuff, I thought, well, let's actually have them perform, a whole act, a whole scene from an ancient play, because that will force them to think about these different issues and work through it themselves. And so that's what I've been trying to do this past semester. Is I knew I wanted to add this performance aspect, but I just didn't know how. And so the big thing that I took away from the seminar was this idea of scaffolding. I had never really thought about that before. When I had initially thought about adding the performance aspect, it was just, and here's a final project where you perform part of a play. Have fun. But right, that doesn't work. Or it doesn't work the way you want it to work.
Well, I don't think the students understand why they're doing it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't have the tools, they don't have the skills.
Yes,
necessary.
they don't have the tools, they don't understand why they're doing it, they don't have those learning objectives in mind, and then they really don't understand how you grade them. And so by using this scaffolding approach and putting in sort of smaller performative aspects throughout the class, sort of breaking up the idea of performance into more manageable chunks before putting them all together at the end, I think that this will help the students work through some of the issues of performance. And then we're also going to watch more clips of other performances, either plays that have been dramatized as movies or actual recordings of dramatic performances. And this will be part of that consume and analyze idea, where I get them to watch these clips and then we talk about them. What worked and what didn't work. What was polished or professional about it and what wasn't. What was distracting. What could they have done different. And how would that have affected our understanding of the clip? And so I'm going to, in addition to the performance element that's being added in, I'm also adding in more of these clip viewings. And this is also how I'm going to create the rubric. I'm basically going to have the students do a lot of the work of creating the rubric for me. And it's something that every time we watch a clip, we'll go back and edit our draft rubric so that by the end of the class, we have edited and edited and edited this rubric until it's at a place where all of us feel very comfortable with it. And that will also make it much clearer to them how I am evaluating their performance.